出るでありある。
And welcome back to another Gunpla review. Don't mind the dog barking in the background. And today we're going to be taking a look at the high-grade Gundam the Witch From Mercury Gundam Aerial. This, of course, is from the brand new Gundam series, which I think so far we're like 7 or 8 episodes in. So this is the main Gundam, the, well, Aerial. This is quite the nice looking Gundam. It is, of course, like a redesign of the classic RX-78-2, but we definitely have some new proportions. It is, well, for one, it's very thick. The chest is also a lot more angular, you can see that. And one really nice detail is there are actually no flat surfaces on this, well, besides maybe, like, feet. Yeah, but besides that, there aren't any flat surfaces, like on the chest, usually. If I get something like good old Ecowas Jag in here, we have a lot of just flat surfaces, like the arms, the thighs, the chest. But with the Aerial, you just won't see that. The chest has all these nice little segments that look really, really nice. That's a lot of detail, so I definitely would recommend maybe panel lining this, just to really bring out all of that detail. Well, it's already fairly visible on its own. I have not done any extra work with this. I just, like, snap built it. I put on all of the activated shell unit stickers, and that's it. Just single snip off the runners, and you can't really see any nubs, at least from the front. We do have these little ones on the insides of the feet, which are barely visible. We also have a few on the gray bits here, but besides that, there's not that much. It is a very beautiful looking Gundam. Really like how it actually has a sort of double V-fin, but not your traditional kind. Usually, with like 00 and stuff, and the new Gundam, you'd have normal V-fin, and then these two other ones coming out from the V-fin. But here, it may look like that at first, but they actually come out of the back of the head around here and act as like conventional antennae, which is actually pretty cool. And when you remove the V-fin, we're not going to do it right now, but when you remove it, the head actually looks a lot like the Lifrith. The feet are very cool in this too. They're a lot, well, at first glance, they look a lot like an Iron-Blooded Orphan's mobile suit, but they actually move in two separate things. So we can move the main front kind of toe here. It's on a ball joint, and the back one is on a little swivel peg. We'll get into that more later with the articulation, but it is pretty unique. This build as a whole is unique. It's very similar to the Fine Build system with 30-minute missions and like the legs and stuff. Now, I hate the Fine Build system. It is absolutely awful. Like, if we take the RX-78-2 here, the first, like, entry grade kit, which uses the same Fine Build system, don't mind the awful paint I did, you'll see that, it drops like that. And this one I also painted the joints, too, so they have been thickened up, and they are stronger, yet it still falls. Here is my normal entry grade RX-78 in the last shooting pose. Look at that. What? Like, why? No. That fell off. Even the elbows are somewhat loose. How do you get loose elbows on a kit? How? And if you want to see some 30-minute missions, again, using the same joint structure, here's an Alto. Can't hold itself up whatsoever. Here is a Rabiote. A bit better, but still can't hold itself up. Even the Windom, an actual full-on high grade, even this suffers from it. Like, if you look at this, look at that. And as much as I love the Leo, it also has the issue. It's actually kind of tight on this leg. There we go. It's kind of got caught on something. So yeah, even the Leo, it still has that issue. So yeah, safe to say, I was pretty worried when I heard the Aerial would be using the Fine Build system. But then I got these two. Now these both use Fine Build system. This is the Esposito Beta, by the way, or the Alpha. Look at this. I can hold it up perfectly fine. If I shake it, yeah, it'll drop a bit. But if I hold it up, well, now it doesn't want to. Yeah, see? Nice and solid. Entry grade new Gundam, too. We hold it up. It somehow hold up its own weight perfectly fine. It bends a tiny bit. We have seen Bandai is getting better with this Fine Build system. So that kind of put my worries at ease. But there was still a chance that it could be loose with the Aerial, and it's not. This is the most tight fine build system I've ever had on a figure. Like, the joints are really tight in here. You can shake the hell out of it. It's only going to bend a bit. Like, these don't even feel like fine build knees. They feel like your normal, traditional Gunpla knees. It's really impressive. This kit also seems to have nearly full inner frame on all the parts, which is also really impressive. So with that, the amount of detail it has almost kind of looks like a real grade, but without being terrible like a modern real grade. So it's more like an old real grade. It's good. Well, I just spent 5 minutes rambling about the fine build system. Anyways, let's move on to the accessories. So first off, I guess just talking about the onboard weapons. First of all, we have the head Vulcans. Let me move up the camera a bit. We actually have the little Vulcans in the head, and they are color separated, which is very impressive. Actually, the head entirely is color separated. Something I forgot to show in the aesthetics is, this kit has very few actual stickers. Now, at first, this sticker sheet may look quite alarming to you, but it's really not that bad. Most of these are just for the shell units throughout the body, except for these chest ones. These actually come, like, pre-printed. Like, they have the little shell unit detail printed on the parts out of the box, which is very impressive. They come on their own little runner. It's really cool. And we also, for some reason, we get, those bits, except just, like, without any printing on them. Here's one of them. So if you want to, you can put on the sticker. I guess that's so you can have the deactivated shell unit if you want, but why? Yeah, so all of these stickers here are for the shell units, and the only color-correcting ones, I guess, these add these little red outlines, but the bits they're supposed to go on, which are these little eye-looking holes in the chest, are already color-separated in gray, which is impressive enough, so I covered up with a sticker. And then we just have these, which are for on the shield, and this one's for on the beam rifle. So again, really not that bad. Oh, and those eye ones and head camera sticker, yeah, those are useless. You actually get fully color-separated eyes in there, with the gray part color-separated too. And that's attached to the same part that is attached to the Vulcans. The shell unit in the forehead too also has that color-separated. I do have the sticker over there, but it's attached to this red piece. So it is red under there. I just like to look at the sticker more because it's shiny. And for our other onboard weapons, we have the beam sabers, of course, on the backpack, the obligatory beam sabers. Now, be careful with these. It's very easy to bump them while posing, and you can see this one is partially snapped off. You can see it's kind of a bit lopsided compared to the other. If I remove it, which I can still do well enough, you can actually see the little peg in there, very stressed. This is made out of a very soft plastic. It's a tiny peg. You get a lot of leverage if you accidentally bump the beam saber, so just please be careful with this, because it can break. Anyway, here is our beam saber, and it is, of course, just your standard beam saber, more double O style, as it is flat. And of course, since we have two beam sabers here, we have two effect parts, and these easily just slot into here. And again, these are the flat double O style, although the one weird thing about these is they are, for some reason, these are blue. In the show, the beam sabers and all the beam effects from the aerial are green. And the full mechanics does the same thing, apparently, where the beams are blue. I don't know why, but it's like that. I have a friend who has a theory that it could be, like, the green beams mean it's, like, a lower output level for duels, and then the blue is, like, the full power from, they have maybe actual fights, instead of just, like, duels. But they still look pretty nice, and they do simply just slot into the hand like this. And aerial looks pretty nice in a pose with them. Next up we have the beam rifle. That's pretty nice. It is just like two parts slapped together with scope as a separate part, if I remember correctly. We do have a little sticker in here. This I don't like. It's just this flat beige sticker instead of like a nice like foil green one, but that's what the aerial's design has for whatever reason, so it is accurate. We do actually have some nice kind of like beveled edges on this, and it is really cool and geometrical looking. We do get a blast effect for this, which is very, very nice. It's this right here. Would have liked it to be a bit less thick like this. It just slides on like that. Would have liked if it was a bit thinner, because right now it looks almost like a sword kind of thing. But again, it's blue. It isn't blue in the show, so I don't know why it's blue here. But yeah, but it does look pretty nice. We have some cool sculpting on here, so pretty nice little accessory. This, like, slots into the hand, a bit more complex than the beam saber. You take the hand here, you don't have to detach it, but for the sake of the review, I will. You remove the back here, you slot into here, and then you just simply put the backing back on, like that. It's like the standard high-grade hand attachment system. And once you're done with that, you can just plug it back into the hand, and again, looks nice in a pose. You do also get a little adapter right here. I won't focus on it. So it's just a little gray bit. So you take your beam rifle here, you slot it into a little hole, and then you just plug it into the butt, and there you go, beam rifle stored. You also plug it into the backpack. I don't remember which one you're actually supposed to do, but you can store it, which is pretty nice. Although, not so nice that you have to attach like a separate little adapter that will get lost, because look at how tiny this thing is. Look at that. Well, our final accessory is probably the most important one with this kit. This is the shield. I don't remember what it's actually called. But this is pretty nice, so it's very detailed. A lot of nice color separation. We do have some stickers here, though. So this little bit of blue and this little bit of white are stickers. But besides that, it's fine. And they're kind of hard to actually notice, besides maybe this top one. So, there's a nice shield. At the back, we have a little gray piece. And this thing is actually quite large. It easily just attaches to the aerial's arm. That's plugged into the hole. Simple as that. And we now have our shield, which once again looks nice in a pose. Now, you may be wondering why I said this was the most important accessory, which is a shield, just a big slab of metal that the aerial uses to block beam weapons with, right? Wrong. This actually has a gimmick known as the bit stave. Let me show you. Alright, so here we are. These. So you ever seen the new Gundam? Remember those little fin funnels? Yeah, this is essentially that, except it becomes a shield. Now, sadly, we do have to use this adapter if we want to, like, connect them all together, which kind of sucks, because I believe the Lifrith, all the bits actually just connect together on their own. Would have been nice if they could have done that with the aerial, too, but, oh well, it's not really that big of a deal. These bits are very cool. We get, like, quite a few of them. We have about 9 in total. Now, these can do, I think, like, 2 things. Well, 3 things, I guess. They can form a shield. You can just have them fly around as, like, little funnels that shoot the enemies, and they're super overpowered, all that. There are stands coming out sometime soon, because they don't actually work with any current stands. So you can do that with them, or you can take good old aerial here and actually combine them with said aerial. Here we go. This is the bit on form. This is supposed to allow the aerial to, like, recharge better, and I guess also have more mobility. And it's pretty cool. It adds things like actual conventional side skirts. These little kind of wings in the back, they're pretty nice. You can just have, like, fly around now, because it also adds what looks to be more thrusters here. So this is pretty nice, but besides that, it doesn't do much, except what we can do is take these gray bits here. You're going to remove these and take beam rifle, of course, flip in this little peg. You can take the beam rifle and you can actually slide them onto the front right here, which gives it more of a nice conventional beam rifle look, just because it will be longer. So just attach that on, and there we go. Pretty nice little beam rifle. I just realized this little sticker right here, this little red guy, yeah, this fell off. These are very annoying. It's these shoulder stickers are split up into 3 parts on each shoulder, which is pretty nice because it won't, like, you're not wrapping it around a part, so it won't peel. But the issue with that is these are tiny, they have very little stick, and you will bump them while posing. And there's a high chance that they will just kind of fall off and get lost, and they're a pain to get back on. You can see I'm struggling right now. So yeah, these things are really not fun. They're the only shell unit stickers, which by the way are these like red things. Only one of those which aren't actually under a clear part. They're just on the surface. Not a good idea. I know like the full mechanics It has an underclear part, but that doesn't matter anyways because it's color separated. Yeah, so these, not really the biggest fan of these shoulder ones because they are a major pain. If I were you, I may just leave them off. It would be inaccurate, but would make posing a lot better. But yeah, so that's really it for the accessories. I mean, we do have, I guess, like a stand port, which is nice to have it built in because I hate stand adapters. But besides that, that is it for the accessories. Now let's move on to articulation. Just gotta pluck off all these little bits first so they don't get in the way of the posing. Alright, so at the head, we have a double ball joint system. Not your standard polycap one. This kit actually has no polycaps, for better or for worse. So, at the head, we have a ball joint up here, which gives you a good range of motion. And then a ball joint at the neck itself, which is, like, attached. The ball joint is, like, back here, which is actually pretty unique. So we get that all the way up, that down, tilt side to side, and it cannot spin all the way around. No, it can. You just have to kind of angle the head up a bit, because the chin will get in the way. That beam saber is going to break. At the shoulders here, we have a ball joint inside of the body. We have this nice bit that kind of folds out. You can see that's on a ball joint connected to here. So it's kind of like your standard polycap, except just a bit different. So we get a decent amount from there. The shoulder armor actually moves separately to the arm. This joint likes to undo itself when you move it too much, but you can raise the arm upwards that much, which is very impressive for a high grade. We get bicep swivel, single jointed elbow bend, which gives you a bit more than 90. And then, of course, the wrist is just on a little ball joint. Although, one thing here, for some reason, the ball joint here is looser than on this side, the ball joint in the body. This isn't just my copy, that's like another copy, so it's weird. And also, when you move this a lot, it tends to kind of, undo that part, making it so this little shell unit here will just fall out like that. So, it's a bit annoying posing this arm, so you just kind of have to hold it like this. But it's not like that on the other arm, thankfully. Now, the torso is probably the most disappointing torso I've seen so far with a Witch From Mercury kit. Well, it's still pretty nice, I guess. We get this to the front, aka nothing. Out to the back, we get that. But then the side to side is... it's okay. Again, so it's the most disappointing torso we've gone so far. Because you look at, like, Guel Salons and the Beggar Mew, which are the only other ones I have. They have really nice ab crunches. With Ariel, This is unique, though. We have the waist swivel at the upper body. And that does spin all the way around. So we don't usually see stuff like that. But it seems to be, like, a trend with the Witch Mercury line. Because, again, Beggar Mew has it. Although the Delonza is, like, normal. We have these little tiny, tiny hip skirts here, which don't really do much when you move them out of the way. But for our kicks to the front, we get that, which is pretty nice. If you move it out of the way of the hip skirt, you get that. And that's knocking off this little piece. So yeah, we do have these little, I guess, kind of side skirts. These are pretty cool. So for our splits, we get that much. We have, of course, we have some more nice little shell units in the thighs. And then the knee bend, we get double jointed, fine build, but it's actually solid this time. So there's our first joint, and there is our second joint. It almost feels like it kind of locks into place when it's bent. That is very nice. Bend back. You can only bend it back a certain way. If you just try to, like, bend it back like this armor will get caught here. So you kind of have to bend that joint, then that joint. Because if you don't do that, you just can't straighten it back out. We have another, like, fine bone kind of C-clip here, which gives you that much to the front, that much to the back, and then for the tilt, like I mentioned earlier, you can actually rotate these in separately, and this does give you a pretty decent range of movement, if not maybe a little over-engineered. Like, it didn't have to be like that. They could have done the standard, like, Iron-Blooded Orphans ankles, but I guess this is pretty cool because since the front toe is on a ball joint, you get a bit of a toe bend upwards, and I guess somewhat downwards, so that, and, like, in combination with this, you can basically have, like, touch the ground. Very impressive. And also this little armor flap here is on a ball joint, so it can, like, somewhat move around a bit. Not really. And also leg movement to the back, as I forgot to show that earlier, is a bit blocked by just this red bit there, so nothing right out to the back, even though there isn't any, like, armor back there to actually block it. Yeah, so the articulation on this thing is quite good for a kit this basic in terms of the build. Right, now one of these size comparisons I completely forgot about earlier. Mark II, Barbatos Lupus, New Gundam, RX-78-2, Master Grade RX-78-2, Origin version, Master Grade Ball Verka, Crosshairs My Beloved, and for some Witch from Mercury size comparisons, here it is with Guel's Delanza and the Beggar Mew. So it is a bit taller than your average, like, RX-78-2 or Gundam Mark II Gundam, but the thing is, those are both 18 meters. This is also supposed to be 18 meters, yet it's just a bit taller for whatever reason, because Bandai doesn't really care about scale anymore, I guess. I don't know, it's weird. Well, yeah, so that was it for my review of the high-grade Witch Mercury Gundam Aerial. It's quite a solid little high-grade kit. Good amount of accessories, too, and that shield is really fun. As for articulation, it is pretty good for a high grade, although I could ask for a bit more in the torso. The build itself, I didn't talk about too much, but building this thing is amazing. It's really fun. The way all the parts layer up, especially in the head, is just really impressive. And the full inner frame is cool, too. Well, full inner frame besides the lower arms. This thing also just looks really cool, too. As like a redesign of the RX-78 and just as a Gundam on its own, it just looks nice. And the fact that we actually get these printed parts in the chest is really impressive, and they look awesome, too. Yeah, so if you're able to find one of these, which I know is a bit hard right now, but if you are able to find one, I do recommend getting one because it is a fantastic kit. So that's it for the review, and yeah, bye.